Right, Jason, thanks very much. In the first part, you talked about your career as a jockey. Now, your second part of your career, which has now gone on longer than the original career, was in broadcasting. Was it something that came naturally to you?
I was always good at answering the questions and not as good at asking the questions. So that's something that has had to grow. But as you so eloquently put it, it's taken me 17 years to win the Broadcaster of the Year award. So it's been a bit of a slow burner.
Now, in your job, you have to, you I suppose, be described as a pundit as well as a presenter.
Yeah.
Now, do you find it difficult to criticise, still be your brethren jockeys?
No.
You don't?
No. Listen, they have to realise it's hard. It's hard, and jockeys don't like it because they're a one-man band. It's not like saying you can say that football team played awful today. That's easy because you're blaming a whole bunch of people who can take all of that. When you say somebody has given one a bad ride, it's on their shoulders, and they don't like it, and they've got to go back in the weighing room. And I've had more than one or two occasions when the likes of Frankie Dettori has rang me after a race, who we talked about being my friend because he's not happy that I've said he wasn't very good. But then he's calmed down and realised that maybe I was right. And also Philip Robinson rang me on one occasion and wasn't happy with the fact that I'd said he was not particularly good on one, but he asked me to play golf the following week, and that was obviously his way of apologising.
Now imagine, as an ex-jockey, you've got probably a better perception of what's going on in a race than your average racing fan. Has there ever been a time when you think that one was definitely not doing its best, but I thought better to bite your tongue and not mention it?
No, you've got to say what's there. It's not. I'm not in the weighing room anymore. I have to sit out and work what I think is going on the race, and I've got to portray what's out there from an honest perspective.
Now, one of the things that's been especially successful for you and for him is your partnership with Luke Harvey.
Yeah.
Now, it seems to be a real chemistry on the TV. Is that something that is real?
No, it's not really. He's actually a horrible person. People think that he's a happy-go-lucky guy, but once the camera goes off, he's a very nasty, mean-minded, self-centered, horrible sort of guy. So yeah, it's a big act.
He's not actually that bad, because I did ask him to dish some dirt on you, and he was very reluctant.
No,
in fact, he refused point blank.
Listen, we have a lot of fun together. We met a good few years back on a skiing holiday, and we didn't work together then for a long time. And we get on. We have a laugh and a joke. And listen, we know that we are both very lucky in what we're doing at the moment. And I've just been off to do a trotting feature with him in France, and it was a great fun time. Listen, I have a lot of fun with him.
Now, do you think, as you get on so well and your chemistry is so good, do you think there would ever be a time where you two could sort of move on a little bit from racing and maybe do you present the jungle or something like that? Would you fancy that?
I probably would take huge pleasure out of Luke Harvey eating a kangaroo testicle, but who knows?
I meant really doing an Anton deck rather than being in it, but presenting it.
Listen, it'd be great if that was possible. Who knows?
So you seem very comfortable now doing TV. Has it become second nature to you?
I think if you are prepared for what you're doing, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable if I've done a lot of work and a lot of research, because you never know when one's gonna get loose, and you might get it in your ear from the gallery and they'll say to you, look, I need you here, you've got 5 minutes to fill. So if you've done plenty of work, you're not going to be in any problem.
Okay, you spend a lot of time on TV now, also with ITV, so on the mainstream channels. What's the best and worst parts of your current role?
Worst part would be I am away from my family a little bit, but the best part is I love racing, and if you're getting the opportunity to go to the races and talk about the best horses, what's not to like?
Okay, now, unlike a lot of your people you work with, you're absent from social media, at least Twitter. Now, is there a conscious decision not to get involved?
As I just mentioned there, I've got two boys who are 14 and 16, and I am flat out all day long. I do not need another addition to my life to be on the phone. It drives me mad that people sit there. When you go out or you talk to someone, you can't talk to somebody now without them looking at their phone, and no interaction, no talking. What's going on there?
A lot of what you do, well, almost all of what you do is live broadcast.
Yep.
So there must have been a few incidents. Have you got one that sticks in your mind that was that has happened?
Off the top of my head now, what happened? I remember once I was talking about a horse that had girth galls, and somebody said to me, "What on earth's that?" And I said, "It's when the girth is tightened up too much underneath the horse." And they still were picking for more explanation. And I said, "Oh, well, sometimes if it's tight." I said, "Sometimes you can get 3 fingers in, sometimes you can get a fist." And then I realised what I'd said.
Now, you're obviously a pundit, and you sort of try and help punters select winners. Are you a punter yourself?
Yep.
Now, how regular and how serious are you?
I bet most weeks, and it will be, I tend to sway with what I'm really into at that point. I mean, the football, I really enjoy betting on the football before Christmas, and I don't bet on it afterwards. I was looking just the other day for a few anti-post punts, which I will have running for me throughout the season, because I think that's a good value angle, provided that they get there. And yeah, I punt through the week, especially when I'm, when I'm allowed to on track.
Okay, back to when you were a jockey.
Yep.
If you got beat on a short one, did you ever get stick from punters when you go back to the weighing room, or was that a regular thing?
Yeah, I think any sportsman, if you get beat and somebody's backed it or whatever, whether you gave it a shocker or whether it was beaten fair and square, you're still going to get somebody who's not happy.
And what was your attitude to them then? Was it you pay your money, you take your chance, or did you have a bit of empathy with them?
Listen, it's from a jockey's point of view, you're so upset that you got beat. You don't need somebody reminding you that they've also lost as well, and they think you're awful. Never mind having to deal with the owner and trainer as well. It's not a nice situation.
So they're the boots on the other foot. Do you sometimes think you should have won that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are times when I think they should have won. Of course there are.
Now, do you have any other sporting interest? You mentioned golf there.
Yeah.
I hear there's a very good golfer in the family. Is that you?
No, there are 2 very good golfers in the family. I'm the 3rd one. This is my golfing injury that I have at the moment. So the cast comes off very soon. I have my Christmas jumper on, even though we're way from Christmas, because it's the only one that I can stretch over my arm and I don't mind ruining. But both boys, Max and Tyler, are very good. They're low single-figure handicappers. The youngest has qualified for the World Championships in Jakarta this year. He won at Woodhall Spa, playing lads who were a couple of years older. And my eldest finished 3rd, who was also playing 3 years up. He was playing basically men.
So you've not gone into golf management?
No, listen, I'll be on the bag. That'll do me. And I'll just shut up and say, look, which club do you want?
Just talk about racing again. You talked about it briefly before, but has it improved? Do you think the conditions for everybody, especially the combatants, the jockeys, and the horse welfare, has it come on since your time?
Yeah, of course it has. Lots of things change. When I first started riding, there wasn't even back pads, and you rode with very limited skull caps. We obviously had to have hats. I'm not old enough for the flat cap and everything else, but back pads, all the checks and everything else that go on. It's all about the competitors, the athletes that are out there, both equine and human.
Now, you're a seasoned presenter. You've been doing it for nearly 2 decades. Have you ambitions now outside of what you've already done, or are you happy with how things are?
I am rapidly closing in on 50. My attention has obviously focused on my 2 lads coming through at the moment. That's my main focus.
Okay, then finally, my last interviewee was Jason Watson.
Yep.
Just won the Apprentice's title with 110 winners. Just starting out as a professional jockey this year. He's just had a terrible fall, unfortunately. But when he's recovering, what would your advice be to him and any other young professional jockey starting out now?
To believe in yourself. Don't kid yourself. When you believe that you belong. He doesn't come, Jason Watson, I think, from a racing background. Is that right? You know, so he has to believe that he's putting enough effort in, that he belongs to be out there. And he's just got the job with Roger Charlton. He's in the right spot.
Okay, Jason Weaver, thank you very much.